state the domain. هالمرة الكويشن طالب شوف state the domain and range of g of x. هاي الفانكشن طالبينها. اوكي هاي عندي هون f of x، هاي عندي هون g of x، نفس الشيء f of x g of x and so on. اوكي let's work with this the first part. خلينا نكبر الكويشن. click on it, make it a bit bigger so that you can see it clearly. Look, so state the domain. Now remember, okay, one thing, الدومين students اسمعوني منيح. اوكي الدومين تبع الاكسبوننشال فانكشن ايش ما يكون الدومين is r. The domain of an exponential function is r in all the real numbers. يعني for this part هاي مثلا شو الدومين تبعه؟ خلص r، ف x belongs to r زي الكوادراتيك وزي اللينير. هاي شو الدومين تبعتها؟ نفس الشيء x belongs to r. الكويشن اللي بعده شو الدومين تبعه؟ نفس الشيء هذا x belongs to r x belongs to r. يعني معنى ثاني you can use whatever value you want على x it doesn't matter، ما في مشكلة. x belongs to r فخلص الدومين تبعت exponential function x belongs to r. Great. What is the range then? The range values of y. Look at the for f of x اللي هو هذا الجراف تبعه. Okay, f of x as you can see the graph gets so close to the x axis اللي هو y equals but never touches it، ما بوصل له، فبصير y is greater than 0. y is greater than 0 معنى تاني إذا كان الاسيميتود above the x axis الهوريزونتال asymptote فبصير y is greater than الهوريزونتال asymptote. Okay, let's look at this part اللي هو الجي هذا. اوكي هاي الجراف تبعه اول شيء بمر من هون وهيك عند ال 3 وهذا بضله طالع لفوق، فبتكون عندي y is greater than 3. why is it greater than 3? because this 3 is the horizontal asymptote. فاذا الرينج y greater than 3. let's move to this question. هاي 3 to the power of x ما في مشكلة، فالدومين زي ما حكينا r والرينج زي ما بتعرف y is greater than 0. that's great. Now what happens when you put this minus? From the previous questions we saw that it's a reflection about the y-axis. ما تغير شيء، يعني still the graph gets so close to the x-axis but never intersected or goes beyond. فالدومين زي ما بنعرف انه r بس الرينج بتكون y is greater than 0. شايف لانه هي الجراف it's all above the x-axis. So y is greater than 0. Okay, let's do the part C. So this graph half to the power of x، فأنا بطلع الهاف لفوق بتصير minus 1 times x minus x is a reflection about the y-axis، يعني هي شكل الجراف. فبصير عندي أنا الدومين طبعا الدومين is r so and the range is y is greater than 0. Okay, so for this one look what happens to this one first. Let's begin work. Let's forget about this minus 4 a bit. Okay, for this part look what happens. Take the 2 up, it will become minus power of minus 1 and عندك x هون times minus x I mean. فشو بصير الجواب؟ بتصير 2 to the power of x. 2 to the power of x طلاب زي ما انتم بتعرفوها هيك. هاي بالازرق. هل what does this minus do? It flips it about the y-axis. هيك بصير. Okay, يعني الجراف okay the graph for this function هاي اللي هي g of x هاي اللون الازرق. Okay, so what's the domain? Again, the domain is r. Okay, what's the range? As you can see, y is less than 0. هاي شايف؟ Below the x-axis. So y is less than 0. Okay, for the last part of the part T. Now e to the power of x. Again, e is a number like 2 or 4. Remember issues, but it has a value of 2.71. Okay, so what is the domain? Again, the domain is r. So x belongs to r. What is the range? Range, as you can see, so it's y greater than 0. Okay, greater than 0. So what would happen if this function g of x, when x plus 1 ما بتعمل شيء هاي بس is just move it one step to the left لأنه هذا horizontal shift هيك بس. still the graph still gets very close to the x-axis but never touch it. So إيش بيكون عندي range y is greater than 0 and the domain you already know which is r. Okay, let's take a look at the mark scheme. Look at the mark scheme here. Make it smaller for you. Look, for the first part, as you can see, because it's an exponential function, so domain is r. Exponential function, domain is r. Exponential function, domain is r. Okay, for the range look at this one because this is a horizontal asymptote يعني بيمر جراف بس it doesn't touch the هاي بتكون الفاليو هون ايش؟ خلينا نحكي وات ايفر هاي بتكون عندي مثل الفاليو is 3 اوكي هيك اوكي as you can see هاي 3 وهاي بتكون الفاليو هون عندنا 4 زي ما شفتوا بالجراف اللي قبله. So the horizontal asymptote is 3 so that's why g of x is greater than 3. Look at part B. So it's an exponential function فعندنا domain R بما انه ما عندي asymptotes and the graph is above the x axis so y is greater than 0 هذا الرينج. This one it the graph is below the x axis يعني بيكون هيك نازل نزول او هيك right. It doesn't matter in this case y is less than 0. This one there is no minus here so it's above the x axis that's why g of x or y is greater than 0 اللي هو الرينج. Okay done.